We get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
Alrighty, welcome back. This is episode 132. My name is Nathan, and I'm joined with my co-hosts Sean.
What's up, guys?
And John.
Greetings.
Yeah. All right, let's jump right into it this week with the question: did you make any significant trades before the deadline?
Yeah, you can say that.
Let's hear yours.
Thanks, Sean. That Joey Bosa week was nice.
Yeah.
No, we had a blockbuster. Me and Sean. My issue was I was like 4th or 5th seed, 7-4, good but not great, and missing a few pieces, and I had way too many Saquon shares, if there is such a thing. So I shit canned Saquon for. Well, do you remember the whole trade? It was like Saquon, Frank Clark, and a first for Mostert, Woods, and something.
I think. Yeah. So I got it right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Transactions. So it was Frank Clark, Saquon Barkley, and a first to me.
Yeah.
I'm 4-7, so I was rebuilding here. And I sent Robert Woods, Raheem Mostert, Joey Bosa, Quandre Diggs, and a third.
Right. So I I ended up getting some more firepower right before the playoffs and upgraded at defensive line. And Sean got an excellent stud young running back that I couldn't use this year,
and a first round pick.
Right. And it's great for Sean for next year and a first round pick. So I think it was a win-win for everyone.
Well, and the other thing is my team in that league is really not that bad. It's just been kind of an unfortunate situation where I think it looks like I'm 6th out of 12 in points. So I'm pretty middle of the road. And I've been shit on by injuries, just pretty much across the board in that league. So it was just one of those where it's like, yeah, okay, I'll take some losses, improve my draft stock here. And then I'll be doing, I think I got Chubb and Barkley, and then I think I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire in that one too. So that'll be a nice 1-2-3 punch at running back, and my receivers are pretty good even with the loss of Robert Woods. I think I have Tyreek in that one.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a win-win. Sean is, as much as he gives other people shit, he's a legit trader. It's always been just get in the same solar system and we'll figure it out. You know?
Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. And that's the thing. I don't like being lowballed. It's just not worth my time to sit there and haggle back and forth. Like if you offer me a 4th round pick for Nick Chubb, we're not talking. Like that's the end of that. Just send me a decent, like even if you offer me like a 2nd for Chubb, then I'll come back and be like, okay, that's not really reasonable, but like we'll talk, you know? But it's when you get the extreme low balls or, yeah, Nate knows all about that.
Yeah, so I got one for you guys. One of my leagues, the LA League, we don't have a deadline yet, so I think they might be establishing it as playoffs is going to be the deadline. But I have an offer on the table that I'm considering taking. My team in this league, I mean, injuries have hurt a lot. I think I could be a contender with a solid piece. So I put out some offers to try and get some movement, and someone sent one back that was I get Zeke Elliott and I give up
Nope.
Zach
You
Moss
already-
in the first.
Nope.
Ooh. Yeah.
I don't
But
trust Zeke. I
For
just don't.
Next year, you don't think he's going to be on the Cowboys?
No.
No,
I mean,
he will
like,
be on the Cowboys. Yes.
I don't think
And
that
you think
he's
Dak would
going.
come back, right?
Yeah.
So, in one of my leagues, somebody traded for Zeke to try and contend, and he has actively tanked them out of playoff position.
I'm not
Yeah.
playing for this year.
Right.
I thought you said you were one piece away from being a contender.
For like next year. Like
yeah. Okay.
I
Oh.
was saying that my team like this year has been like hurt with injuries and COVID. So this year's a bust, but my team's not like burn it down yet. So I
Right.
could take one piece and build on it for next year.
The thing is that, like, theoretically with running backs, you might get 1 to 2 more years of like high end running back production out of Zeke. If that, if you don't win a championship in the next 2 years, you're hurting your team by trading away your draft picks and a young running back.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he'll get a couple good years out of him. Definitely. Without the threat of the pass right now, it's like super easy to stop him. And he's got some crazy fumbling shit that is just ridiculous right now. But yeah, I don't mind it. But yeah, this year he's god awful. It's not great.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be getting him for this year at all. And
Right, but if you're trading for the future, why are you giving up draft picks? That seems like a move.
Like I
where
said,
you're-
it's not a complete burn down. It's if I can get a solid running back, I could be making playoffs next year.
Right. And I guess to me, I would rather trade. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to trade next year when I know whether I'm contending rather than trading for a running back now and having him not help you this year and then maybe help you next year. I'd rather wait and see what Zeke is doing next year and then trade for him because I don't feel like you're getting a ton of a discount right now on Zeke.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Right.
I got one for you guys in that same league. So I'm not making any trades there, but I got my 7th win. I'm right on the edge of playoffs, second in the division, and Will Fuller. Bye bye.
Ooh.
You earned that for drafting a cheater.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah. Wow, that fucking sucked though. All right.
Yeah. Side note, real quick. I don't have trade deadlines in any of my leagues. I don't like them. I think that not having a trade deadline helps keep a league competitive and balanced because in theory, if you're a bad team with a couple of pieces, the best time for you to make a deal as a team that's out of it is the closer you get to the championship, because the closer people get to it, the more they're willing to pay for that last piece, which then sends more assets back to the rebuilding teams, which then rebalances the league every single year, as long as people stay active. So to me, I prefer not to have a deadline. And if a team wants to sell out for a championship and sell the future and screw themselves for the next 3 years, have at it, man.
That's an interesting concept, and I think that obviously there's merit to it and ways of doing that. I'm always concerned of like, what if you're the team that's playing the team that just sold out? And
Then you should have sent a better offer.
Yeah, or you could do the same with someone else.
That's what I'm saying. And at that point, what you're doing is you're saying, how much am I willing to give up to have a better chance at this championship? Because we know anything can happen in any given week. So, if you sell your team right before your championship game, you may up your odds of winning from 55% to 60, because anything can happen. So I think that And if your odds of winning were already better than 55%, you probably didn't need to sell out to win that. You probably have a pretty huge advantage. So to me, I think that both teams can sell out. And if they decide to do that, they're setting themselves up for failure in the future. And they're setting the teams that are selling to them up for success in the future. And it rebalances everything.
Interesting. With that, let's look at how we did this week. How'd you guys do fantasy-wise?
Really well. I think I lost a few of them, but none of them that I really needed to win. I lost one that I was like 10-1 in or whatever. So really, I've got like a couple of leagues left that I'm kind of on the fringe of playoffs, and then I have, I think, 3 leagues that I'm totally out of it, and then the other 18 I'm like likely in it, which is really good given the state of the season this year. And I think this year just definitely benefited active owners. So yeah.
Yeah.
Although I did win one league that I was tanking in, and the commissioner went against the league rules where you're supposed to set like your best lineup or something you can argue is your best lineup. And he and I were in competition for the number 1 overall pick, and we were playing each other this week. And the commissioner benched Justin Jefferson and like Josh Jacobs and Evan Ingram for like Desean Hamilton, Lynn Bowden, and somebody that was out. And there was just outcry across the league. It's like, you can't do that if you're the commissioner, man. Like it devalues the league at that point. Like, if the commissioner is not following the rules, what's the point of the rules? Like, and you know that if somebody else is doing that, the commissioner is just going to dock you draft picks or kick you out. So that was a pretty big bummer for me, just watching all that go down.
Yeah, we're in a couple of leagues like that. I think I'm probably all set with the IDP legacy. Nate.
What's that?
Or it used to be the IDP Open, the big play scoring redraft one we're doing, where the commish just takes advantage of stupid people.
I don't think I'm in. Oh, yeah, I'm in that one.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention, and I'm so far out of it that I don't know. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Yeah, but no, it's a good week. 21-5 overall, assuming nothing crazy happens tomorrow, which doesn't. I mean, Ebron would need like a 4-touchdown game, and Minka Patrick would need like the best game of the season so far for him combined. So I think I'm good. So 8-0 in Yahoo, 4-0 my fantasy league, 9-5 in sleeper, 25 DFS, not eliminated. Very good week, recovering nicely with the diamond rating. So things are good.
Yeah. Also, and I caught that, Sean. Like, one thing, like, I know we're part of a fantasy show, and it does mean things to like set all your lineups and be active. But sometimes life gets in the way. I did just get married, and it's been a very life-filled fall. And
have you
having people jump on your ass is getting really old.
Did you poop at any time while you were preparing to get married? Because that's when I set my lineups. I just do it on the toilet.
Yeah.
Just for your information, when you see lineups being changed, you know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Nice. That's what I'm beating the hell out of my meat thinking about it.
Jesus, what?
What's up, guys? It's Josh,
Adam,
and Bobby
here with the Big 3 IDP podcast. And if you've never listened to our show before, here's just a taste of the insanity that you will get week in and week out with the Big 3 IDP podcast.
Skunks are so cute.
We just ate White Castle at like 10:45 at night.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh, did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls. You know it's all about getting real and getting down to business and getting down to the facts.
Slide 'em in, slide 'em out.
So, if you would like more of the shenanigans that you just heard in these little snippets, be sure to subscribe to the Big 3 IDP podcast wherever you get your podcast, Addy. Listeners are guaranteed to have a good time.
Hey, you can't afford not to do this, baby.
That's right, baby.
This week's news.
Alrighty. Not too crazy this week. I mean, crazy stories, but not a lot of it. We'll start with, we'll get to the Detroit stuff, but we'll start with Will Fuller. Gone 6 games, PED, same thing with Bradley Roby. Is it a coincidence that Brian Cushing is the strength coach there? I don't think that has anything to do with it. It's the private trainer, from what I saw, right? That's like responsible for this.
We'll never know.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the link between them. They both have the same private trainer who apparently looked at what this was and thought it was okay, is the story. But
right. Again, that's the story. But if I was taking PEDs from my trainer that told me what it was, I would say, oh, I had no idea. And the trainer would say, oh, I thought it was okay. Like, we're never going to know.
Yeah. Either way, whatever it was working. Will Fuller actually didn't shatter into a million pieces this year. So that was good. But now he's gone. So Fallout. Obviously, on the corner side, it's going to be Hargreaves and some other schmucks that we probably don't want any part of. Cooks. Do we think Cooks gets a bounce? Are we interested in Isaiah Coulter, Kiki Cutie, any of that?
I really like Coulter and Dynasty. I don't think either of them are going to be particularly viable starters in redraft.
Mm-hmm. Does Cooks get a bump?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Works for me. All right, and we'll get to the main event now. Sean and Nate's reaction to the firings in Detroit. Who would like to start? Nate would.
Yeah, so obviously, like, the human side of it, you don't root for people to get fired. The football side of it, like, this is really good for the Lions organization. I don't know what to do with Lions Twitter anymore because, like, I spent the entire time leading up to those firings arguing about why Bob Quinn was part of the problem and not part of the solution, and everybody was coming at me about it, just like aggressively. And then Bob Quinn gets fired, and it's like, yeah, he wasn't that good anyway. And that's kind of the prevailing mentality. And this whole time we've been complaining about offensive play calling, and now Lions Twitter is all about, like, well, maybe Bevel can turn this team around. It's like, no, he can't.
He's the one calling the plays.
He has been one of the biggest issues with this team so far. And people are talking about winning out and making the playoffs now that Patricia's gone.
Oh, my God.
You guys are so delusional off your rockers, man. Like, no, Bob Quinn was not a good GM. No, Matt Patricia was not a good head coach. No, Darrell Bevel is not a great offensive coordinator. Like, these are all problems. Bevel won't be here when they bring in a new head coach. This season is over. And basically it is Bevel's job to just get the young players on the field and see what we have in them. And hopefully, like, see that there's some sort of hope for these guys in the future.
Yeah, I pretty much think that all comment sections are terrible and large collective brains are the problem with this country and this world. I put out a comment on one of the Free Press's Facebook posts just about, like, oh, what's Stafford going to do now that...
Well, that's, like, your problem. You're on Facebook, man.
Like, I just put out the simple,
better. It's a little
the simple, like, wherever he goes, I'll support him, and I hope he wins a title. He deserves it. And I'm getting death threats from
what?
Yeah, dude. Welcome to Facebook. Stay off it.
Trash.
Jesus.
Like, people are trash.
This is why I don't go on Facebook, man. Just avoid it. It's like, yeah, going on there is asking for trouble. Just don't share anything that you have going on in your head on Facebook. You can share it on Twitter. Dumb people will come at you, but you're not gonna get any of that nonsense.
True. It's astonishing to me, the just collective mindset of people, and it's the distinction between Facebook and Twitter. Twitter's like over the top, like drinking the Kool-Aid, and Facebook's just trash humans. But
Yeah.
I am so happy with the firings. From what I understand, Patricia's kind of an asshole anyways, so I guess I don't feel so bad about him personally being kicked off the team, considering all of the vets and players that have come out after the firing and before the firing against him. It's, I don't know. I was one of those. I was leading the train for Patricia 3 years ago, and the last
to be
year
fair,
has shown me that it's just like, I don't know. Can't be one or the other. You have to be realistic.
Right. To be fair, like, that's honestly a good thing, because like when presented with more information, you are able to make a more educated opinion. And that's how this works. The problem is like our entire fan base has a lot of people that held an opinion, and when presented with more information is unwilling to change their opinion. It's like people that, regardless of seeing a globe, still believe that the world is flat. Like, there's been evidence presented, and you're refusing to change your opinion based on the facts in front of you.
Yeah. But now I'm looking forward to,
Oh, sorry. Quick question. So is this something, because I feel like maybe it's because when you guys first got me on Twitter, my initial hook in was Lions Twitter. Those are the people I followed first. And for some reason, I just kind of got like in there, even though I have really nothing to do with the Lions. But I follow a lot of those people. I've talked to a lot of those people. And I feel like this is something I see more there, is the unrealistic expectations, drinking the Kool-Aid. I remember when you guys got Mike Daniels.
I thought you were a Cowboys fan.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't belong there. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Well, most Cowboys fans have that. I don't. But I feel like I see this more in Detroit, in Lions Twitter. Like, remember when you guys got Mike Daniels, and it was like, oh, we got the greatest defensive line ever. And it was, you see that with stuff all the time. Like,
and it didn't used to be that way. It's kind of turned that way. It was probably after Bob Quinn's first or second year.
Yeah.
As soon as the whole like hashtag trust in Quinn thing started, then it was just like off the rails, no coming back. It did. And like it engulfs probably like 80 to 90%. Like, because I put out that poll like 2 years ago, like what would have to happen for you guys to stop, quote, trusting in Quinn? And it was like, I don't know, if you win 6 games, I think we still trust in him. It's like, how? Like, what's wrong with you guys? You guys are all brainwashed. This is nonsense. So yeah, I don't know. Quinn was not a good GM, and his process overall was just bad. And that's like, just from a football perspective, anybody that's followed me on Twitter has seen a lot of this lately. My whole thing is that most GMs, once you get to that level, are around the same quality in terms of being able to evaluate talent. Like, most of them are about the same when you factor in the help of all these scouts and like all these people. It kind of works out to just like an aggregate mean, right? The difference between good GMs and bad ones is the process. If you are really good at evaluating talent, and you're taking running backs and centers in the first round, your process is bad. So even if you hit on the same number of people as everybody else, even if you hit on more, your team is not going to be significantly better. You have to attack high value positions early in the draft, so that even though you may not hit on all of them, when you hit, it's a significant game changer for your team. And that's something Bob Quinn has done worse than any team in the NFL. He attacked the fewest high value positions in the first 2 rounds of the draft since he became a GM.
mm-hmm.
So,
no, I get it. It's good analysis. So, obviously Cowboys fans are known for the overreactions and the drinking the Kool-Aid and stuff. But yeah, I just feel like I've seen it a lot, at Alliance Twitter. So we'll see what happens.
No
with
argument
that.
here.
Okay, coming off that, we've got Ashawn and Slay pile on, amongst others, I guess. Thoughts about that?
I mean, speak your mind, guys. Like that's the thing. Like, it's another thing with Lions Twitter is people just turning on the players when they speak out against the organization. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, if I get fired by my job and I got things to say, I'm probably going to say them. Like, I don't know why. If I'm a big Target fan and Nate works at Target and gets fired, like, I'm not going to hold it against him when he says bad things about Target, So I don't know. I appreciate them coming out and speaking their mind, because like the reality is we don't get much of the behind the curtains look. We don't get much of what's actually going on. And when players speak out, you get a little bit of a glimpse into what went wrong there.
I think someone had said that Ashawn Robinson had 4 unique tweets this year. So I'm assuming that means like not retweets, not like that kind of stuff. 3 of them were against Matt Patricia, and 2 of them were immediately after he was fired.
Oh my God. Got him to pick up the phone and tweet. Jesus.
Right.
People were not a fan, because that was another thing. The Lions were interested in signing Richard Sherman, and Sherman had some comments way back when they tried to sign him about how he wanted no part of the culture that Matt Patricia had going on here.
Well, Gronkowski fucking retired to stay away.
Yeah.
I mean, not ideal.
Yep.
But whatever. Your guys' nightmare is over for now.
Well, I'm curious as to what comes next. Like, I'm looking forward to the rumors in the season and talking about different GMs and what that might mean. And just
I'm not, man. 1 in 5 Lions fans wants Jim Harbaugh to be the next head coach of the Detroit Lions.
God almighty. If college kids don't take him seriously, what makes you think NFL players are going to?
I don't know, man. It's
going to be normality. I will take, like you said, the mean of GMs, like someone that's just going to draft normally. I'm tired of the Bob Quinn spin of like Sean is the one that really brings this up. Like, they have to fit the system for him to consider the player. It's not about the talent. It's about whether or not they can do like multiple things on the field. And it's like, for the longest time, I was on board with that, thinking that, okay, he's setting this up for Matt Patricia. And when Patricia gets it, it's going to be some, nuclear rocket scientist, genius level of team, and he's going to do all these crazy things, and it's going to be next level. He's ushering in the new era of NFL through the Lions. That's where my head was. That was the level of Kool-Aid, the 130 proof Kool-Aid.
16-0.
It was going to be. It wasn't 16-0. It was like 48-0. We were going to win the next 4 seasons, including 4 Super Bowls. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I'm glad to have brought
very
you back,
quickly. Yeah. It didn't take long. I mean, how long had Quinn been there? For 5-6 years?
I think 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this podcast nearly the same amount of time.
Yeah.
That's wild.
We haven't fired Sean yet.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, fellas. All right, so I guess that was the one piece of good news in here. We'll get to the bad news now. Micah Kaiser to IR. Troy Reader stepped in, did a great job. There you go, if you need a waiver wire linebacker. John Brown to IR. This one actually hurts a little more. I had him kind of all over the place, and when he plays, he's usually pretty good. Fallout. Beasley didn't get as many. The vacated target thing didn't really look like a thing this week.
It really isn't a thing, to be totally honest. If a guy's open, they get hit with targets. It's so. The big thing for me is I think this hurts everybody in Buffalo all around. because John Brown did a lot for that offense outside of just his counting numbers. He was their deep threat, like when he's not playing, they don't use Stephon Diggs in that role. They just don't have anybody in that role. And so without him there, they don't really take the top off the defense. It'll be very telling in terms of head coach searching to see what Brian Daboll does without John Brown, because he's one of the top head coaching candidates in this upcoming cycle. And he's been really good with his play calling so far, but it's going to be interesting to see how he can adjust to having issues with his roster.
Mm-hmm. We shall see. Okay, Daniel Jones hamstring, likely to miss some time. Thoughts?
They might be tanking. This might be a hurt your hamstring, please.
Well, they said he could play if he needed to, but then I saw the other day he's going to miss some time. So how does it go from one extreme to the other that quickly?
I don't know.
Same reason Stafford had a back injury last year.
Yeah, and
next year,
the whole division's a train wreck, and I pity the one that wins it, because they're the only one that's going to get a shitty draft pick, and on top of that, they're going to get wiped out in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, I saw something. The Giants win this last week took them from 6th to 19th or something like that.
Yeah, okay, so that was a joke. It's reality, but the reason for that is because you have to be, I think, pick 19 or whatever if you are leader of your division, because you're technically in the playoffs at that point. Does that make sense? Yeah. So as soon as they led their division, then they took over that pick. But as soon as they're not leading their division, they'll revert back.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Right. So it was definitely it was meant to be a joke, but it also is technically true.
Right.
And they probably look the best out of, them or Washington. Take your pick.
They all look bad, man.
I don't know.
It's the worst division in the history of football, I think.
Yep. Nate, you have something on that?
No, just holy cow. It's a race to the bottom with that division. And the loser is going to be the division winner.
The Lions just fired their whole coaching staff and would be tied for the lead in that division.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Alrighty, so Tua will be the starter if he's healthy, despite the Fitzmagic again this week. That's good for him, I guess. Thoughts?
I don't know if that's true. That really, to me, feels like, because they said last week he didn't get benched because he was injured, right? They said they just benched him because of performance. Then this week he's mysteriously injured. And then they're like, well, he'll play if he's healthy. It's it kind of feels like you're just going to ride out Fitzmagic since you're in the playoffs. And then if Fitzmagic starts to stumble, then you're going to say, oh, Tua finally got healthy. Thank God he's back,
Yeah, I could see it. They're a game out in that division. That's it's the best they've done in a long time.
Yeah, it really just feels like they're trying to manipulate the media perception of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we shall see. Okay, and a couple more. Ronnie Harrison to IR. So Carl Joseph is back. Yippee. And Josh Allen, I guess the bad one now, to IR, which is unfortunate. That changed pretty quick, huh?
Yeah.
Used to be the good one.
They're both good now. They're both good.
Yeah, I guess we could say that. They're both good. Okay, and couple notes. Jim Schwartz pisses off DK Metcalf, gets dunked on. I enjoyed that. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
That was great. So, all through Twitter today, everyone was retweeting that and talking about that. But they brought up an interesting stat that I put in the notes 5 minutes before we started. First 27 NFL games, Megatron versus Metcalf. Who do you guys think was better?
Metcalf, because Megatron was injured.
Well, I think we're talking first 27 full games.
Yep. And Megatron was dealing with a back issue for about 9 of them.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, it was Metcalf for a bunch of reasons. Better quarterback play, different era, wasn't injured. Sure, all those things. But it's actually still pretty close. Calvin Johnson, 95 receptions, DK 116. Calvin Johnson, 1,662 yards. DK Metcalf, 1,939. Calvin Johnson, 11 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, 16. So he's obviously off to a really pretty good start, which is nice.
Yes, he is.
Yep. And Schwartz came out today and said he meant it as a compliment. How do you guys think that went down? I think you probably did, and DK probably just took it the wrong way.
I think he took it the right way. That's what most of these guys do. I mean, you look at even what Everson Griffin did, where Zimmer called him a good player and he freaked out about it. And then Darius Leonard freaked out about Aaron Rodgers, saying that Fred Warner was the best linebacker in the NFL and didn't even the conversation had nothing to do with Darius Leonard. These guys are looking for something to get pissed off and revved up about ahead of the game. So, I mean, regardless of how Schwartz meant it, he took it the right way.
Yeah. And I mean, DK's a man. He's a specimen. I wouldn't want to get that guy angry.
Yeah.
No.
Not at me.
Yeah, I got him everywhere. I was happy with it.
I think if I had to pick 2 players in the NFL that I want to have my back in a fight, it's Aaron Donald and DK Metcalf.
He totally took my other one. Yes. Yeah, it's those.
I think it's those 2, and I don't know that it's particularly close.
Yeah, I don't know if there is anyone. Oh, you know who would have been good back in the day? James Harrison.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and last but not least is at Eddie P. Lions fan, Fat Patricia's burner. What do you guys think? I think it is. The evidence is strong. Let
me pull up this guy's Twitter feed. What is it?
At EDDY at Eddie. This is all one word.
Okay.
Lowercase p.
Oh, he's trending.
Yeah, that's him. So father of 3, check. Tech fan, check. Lions fan, not anymore, but used to be, check. Insider information about practice squad players, check. Read some of these things.
Eddie
If it's
P.
really your
and
fault, why would you leave the breadcrumbs there?
I don't know, man, but it definitely, leaves a strong suspicion.
It's interesting. I did. I don't know if someone changed the Wikipedia on Patricia, but they added a middle name, Edwards. Patricia, Matt Edward Patricia.
That can't be real.
I feel like someone changed that.
All right, well, I'm getting to the bottom of this in real time. I did not see this on the show notes. This is amazing.
I don't know. I think it's close.
It still says Edward.
So yeah, I mean, I thought Edward was his middle name. That's one of the things that lines up.
Oh my God. It might actually be his burner.
See, it's wild, and he defends him, and Bob Quinn didn't give Matt Patricia enough to work with, and if they had listened to Matt Patricia, things would have been fine.
This is supposed to be a Ivy League caliber rocket scientist. If he's really slumming in on Lions Twitter,
dude, most of them do.
Down.
Tons of these people have burners. We've seen GMs do it before.
Yep. Oh yeah, we've seen all kinds of people do it. The politician that said he was a black guy. That was amazing. Did you see that the other week?
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Oh my God! Forgot to switch to your burner. Yeah.
Well, and so then the wild part about that one is, did you follow up with that at all about what happened afterward?
No, I didn't. I just saw that.
Okay.
And I was like, what?
So the account quote account that he was referencing that he was apparently quoting without quotation marks, whatever. He like called him out on there, and it turns out it's Patti LaBelle's son.
I have no idea who that is.
Really? Singer?
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, you gotta look it up later.
No, I will. But yes, there is a long and distinguished history of burners. Kevin Durant,
Kevin
all
Durant.
kinds of guys. Yeah,
I love the meme of Kevin Durant just sitting there on his phone, like grinning to himself.
So, all right, that's it.
All right. MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com.
Gut check.
Alrighty, time for Gut Check, where we pair players together, talk how we like them, put them out there in Twitter, and see what you think. So we go with last week's Gut Checks. We're going to start with a pair of safeties here. Arizona's Buda Baker versus Seattle's Jamal Adams. This is interesting. 162 votes, 79% Buda Baker.
And I bet you anything, if we did that again this week, it'd be reversed completely.
I don't really care either way. I'll take either one.
Yeah, big same.
I'd pay the same exact price for them. And if I'm doing a startup right now, if Buda Baker went, I would take Jamal Adams the next pick. If Jamal Adams went, I would take Buda Baker the next pick.
Yeah, they're the same price, and when they're both healthy, all 16 games, close to the same production.
Yep. Alrighty. Pair of linebackers. Denver's A.J. Johnson versus Atlanta's Foye Oluokun. 157 votes. 51% A.J. Johnson.
Yeah, no, that's close. Very close. Sean, you weren't. I don't think you were here last week. Who would you take on that one?
AJ Johnson.
All right.
And finally, wide receivers. Dallas's CeeDee Lamb versus Minnesota's Justin Jefferson. 102 votes, 76% Justin Jefferson.
I think I want Lamb.
Yep, that's what I said. That's what Todd said. That's what Nate said. It's not by a lot, but yeah, that's what I want.
For me, it's by a little more than a little. Like it's not really a question for me. I'm taking CeeDee Lamb still.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Alrighty, this week we got some more, like usual. We'll start with a pair of quarterbacks. These guys are, I believe it was like 4 points apart, which kind of blew my mind because maybe it's a little more than that. Because one of them just started playing a little while after the whatever. It's Deshaun Watson and Justin Herbert. I'm taking Watson for the running floor, even though Herbert's been lighting it up. What do you guys think?
I'm taking Watson. I think we're going to see some regression from Herbert. I think he's a really good quarterback, but a lot of what he does is not really sustainable. And I think that Watson's pretty much been playing out of his mind since they got since not really a new coach, since they got rid of Bill O'Brien. And I think there's a good chance they end up landing a decent head coach that wants to coach him. So to me, I think that inevitably Herbert's going to run into some issues that he hasn't run into yet. I think defenses are going to throw some things at him that he hasn't seen yet. And I think that it's just not sustainable to continue doing what he's doing.
Yeah, it's a rookie season like I've never seen before.
I mean, to be honest, like he's excelling in a lot of the same things that Baker Mayfield is. Like he looks like, if you look at just pure numbers, he looks like Baker Mayfield. And we saw what happened. It just like certain things will just regress, and certain aspects of your play are going to regress when people figure out what your tendencies are and what you like to do, like not necessarily like figuring out how to beat you, but being like, yeah, okay, so like we can't give you these one-on-one shots down the field because you're going to take them every time. So we got to protect deep a little more. And then you start playing a little more conservatively. And then, maybe your touch accuracy, which is one of your weaker aspects of your game, suddenly starts to get exposed when you're asked to, make accurate passes in that like 5 to 15 range.
Gotcha. So my question here is, let's say we're looking at a startup draft, for next year. I feel like Deshaun Watson being more established, we've got track record and everything, and Justin Herbert kind of just landing his job, you might be able to get both of these guys. Like, I feel like Deshaun Watson's going to be in that first grouping of quarterbacks, and then Justin Herbert's going to be later on. I don't think the hype has pulled him up into the Josh Allen,
it has
Lamar Jackson.
The thing is, it's like you don't need everybody to be as high on one player for him to go early. You need one person, and there are a lot of people out there that are big fans of Justin Herbert. These guys are probably going in the same area, Watson and Herbert. I would guess if you did a super flex draft right now, they'd both go second roundish, like early to mid.
Yeah, that's right. That's probably where he would go. I don't think I don't put him there though. I think those guys that have the rushing floor are still what I would take first.
I think Herbert's a decent athlete too. He's just not been asked to do that stuff so far. But
the one thing that concerns me with Watson is just the previous injuries and he had, what was that, last year that he just didn't perform very well. And do you think that's just
he's had some stretches, but
yeah, he's had some difficult seasons. That's the only thing that, that's the only thing that kind of makes me want to go Herbert. But
Herbert's going to have those though. That's
true. No, I know. Yeah. I probably still would put Watson above Herbert.
I think it's going to be interesting. We'll see. It's a hype test for sure. Okay, moving on. We got a pair of corners. These guys are actually in very similar situations. They're, quote, second corners on their team, even though they're the best corners IDP production-wise on their team, and they're across from shutdown corners. Troy Hill has Jalen Ramsey. Xavier Howard has Byron Jones. These guys are separated by 4 IDP points from the league I took this in. Who are you taking? I think I'm taking Xavier Howard just because he's been more consistent. He doesn't have as many boom games, but he seems to do something every week. And it's similar situations. They're not throwing at Byron Jones. They're not throwing at Jalen Ramsey. So you're good either way.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Xavier Howard as well. I'm just pulling up his numbers here, but he's definitely the better player, in my opinion. So, I'd like Xavier Howard is going to be around for a while, and he's going to be a really good player. And for me, that longevity and just that like security there is far more important than the, random corner production right now. Because I think good players, especially at that position, rise to the top of, whatever.
Yep. I'll go Howard there too.
Alrighty, last one's interesting. Pair of linebackers, Alex Singleton, who's recently emerged on the Eagles, or Nick Kwiatkowski of the Raiders. I would tend to trust Kwiatkowski a little bit more. No real reasoning to that. I mean, he did get signed over there. They paid him. Singleton's kind of come out of nowhere. We don't know what that's going to look like when Nathan Gary gets back. It feels like production by default. That's kind of where I'm at with it. What do you guys think?
That's exactly what it is, production by default. And the Eagles are going to try and fix their linebackers at some point. It's one of the worst groups in the entire NFL.
Yeah, I go Kwiatkowski as well.
Yep, these are all hype checks basically this week.
Gotcha.
So we'll see.
Nice. Alrighty, time for listener questions. This is the part of the show where Jonny goes through the Slack channel and pulls a question out of the hat. So, Jonny, what do we got first? We got a question from Joe G. He's asking, what's wrong with Blake Martinez?
Well, I mean, nothing has changed with his snaps or his role or anything. They've run into some bad offenses, some bad game script. I think Cincy ran like 12 times or something. It was not much. There wasn't a lot for him to work with. And that's happened a couple times now. They've had some games where their offense is one time of possession and the defense wasn't on the field a lot. So I just feel like it's outside stuff happening. As long as he's playing 100% of snaps in that role, once they run into a real offense, I think he'll be fine.
He's also not a very good football player.
Yeah, but we're talking about IDP production, not like winning games.
No, I know, but like so much of what made him succeed with the Packers was just what he was being asked to do. And now he's in a different scheme and he's not playing as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I look at this stuff every week, and when they're up against like a real offense, he's got like 10, 15 tackles. They play the Bengals, he doesn't. That doesn't seem random to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep, I got this one. So we got an Outlook one from Juju Smith Loser at Outlook.com asks, is there a chance we'll see a return to IDP relevance for Tracy Walker, Jeff Okudah, and others now that the genius has left the building?
Sorry, ask that question again. I was still getting over Juju Smith Loser.
So whoever this guy is wants to know if Tracy Walker will be relevant again. If Jeff Okudah, if Jelani Tavai, like what's that defense look like now that Patricia's gone? That's a great.
Stay away from all of it. We have no idea what it's going to look like, and on top of that, Jelani Tavai is bad. Jared Davis is bad. Okudah is not playing well right now, and Tracy Walker is not playing well right now. Will Harris also bad. So just stay away from it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so rest of this season, you think it's still J-Ron Curse is the guy, and Owarie and Okudah doesn't see snaps again, and Walker stays at 48%. And
No, Okudah will see snaps. Like they're going to try and get their young people on the field. I just don't know how well it's going to translate to IDP performance because, like, none of them are that great.
alrighty.
Yep. All right. Alrighty, Jonny. Let's start off with most important waivers, and then we can get into our week in review.
Okie dokie. So this is going to be a giant shock to you guys, but to hear Whitehead lost his job last week.
Wow.
I know.
That's why it matters being good.
Yeah. So it's Jermaine Carter now. Jeff Heath also replacing Eric Harris over at the Raiders. Nicholas Morrow seems to have displaced Corey Littleton even after he got off COVID IR. Nick Vigil, if there's no Perryman or White, but it's dependent on those two not being there. Matt Milano, if he's dropped, he's coming up on the end of his 3-game IR, and I assume they'll put him back in. Not Xavier McKinney, because I don't know about you guys, but I can't decide which one of his 6 snaps I enjoyed the most this week.
Probably
Also,
the third one.
yeah, also not Will Compton. They're doing like a split thing there, so no direct replacement for Jayon Brown. There's a couple guys in Atlanta that have been decent lately, Steven Means and Jacob Tuiati Mariner. at defensive end, only in crazy deep leagues. Bryce Hall is the corner to own on the Jets at the moment. DJ Reed is out with Shaq Griffin in. Troy Reeder is in with Micah Kaiser out. And Richard Sherman is back from IR and is a streaming corner once again. I've got some offensive ones. I'll fire them at Sean here. Devontae Booker.
Pending running back injuries.
Kiki Cute, whatever.
No.
Cam Akers.
Yes.
Rashad Perryman.
No.
Colin Johnson.
No.
Alan Lazard.
Lazard, yes.
Chad Beverly.
No.
Ito Smith.
Pending running back situation.
Gabriel Davis.
Yes.
Isaiah Coulter.
Dynasty only.
And DeAndre Washington.
No.
All right.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, let's get into our over, met, and under. We can just do these all at once. So, Johnny, just give me all three.
Okay, over this week. Joey Bosa. Yeah. Tyrell Adams and AJ Klein. Met Aaron Donald, JJ Watt, Tre'Davious White. Underproduced Shaq Thompson, Blake Martinez, Buda Baker.
All right. So my over at quarterback is Mahomes, receiver is Tyreek. Those are pretty much givens. Running back Antonio Gibson, tight end Dallas Goedert. My Met production is Stafford finally had a nice game. Chris Carson returned nicely. T.Y. Hilton had the game that everyone kind of expected him to have all year. And Evan Ingram finally had catches of longer than 2 or 3 yards. My under expectation is Derek Carr, who had an awesome game last week and was garbage this week. Philip Lindsay with no passing game in Denver should have done better. CeeDee Lamb had the drop touchdown. He should have done much better. And Darren Waller had a pretty shitty game too.
Yeah, all the Raiders did.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Nate?
Yeah, so my over is JJ Watt with that pick 6. Met Foye Oluokun. He was good this week. And then under, Johnny, you said it, Buda Baker.
Yeah. You know, I was joking when I said Jordan Poyer would be safety 1 this year, but Jordan Poyer safety 1 and has been for like a month.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Where are we sitting on cornerback 1?
It's Malcolm Butler.
All right. By how much? How much are we?
3 points.
Okay. All right.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
By the way, by our scoring that we did for all the COVID leagues, Carlton Davis is cornerback 1, followed by Xavier Howard and then Malcolm Butler.
Okay, well, that scoring isn't everyone's scoring.
Nobody has standard scoring, so I'm just going by the one we have 15 leagues in.
Okay, well,
cool.
He's not in mine.
You're in 15 of these leagues. Are you in 15 other leagues that have the same exact scoring?
Yeah, actually, I am.
What the hell is the scoring?
And I'm not. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Okay. It's steak or salad. It's where we pick something that was good in the week and something that was bad. I guess we'll just do them both. Steak this week, salad Yahoo week, getting the diamond rating back on track. Salad. In that big money league we're in, you and me, Nate, I sat Tyrell Adams for Denzel Perryman. Not ideal. Yeah.
No.
Sean, what do you got?
Steak was that we kind of have hope for the Lions' future here, which is great because we previously had not. And salad is that I found somebody to buy my PS4 off me and a bunch of my games, so I had committed to getting the PS5 and made that decision today. I have several friends who already have it, and there was not a single stock drop anywhere on the internet all day today. The first day without a drop anywhere as far as I can think of.
How are you keeping tabs on where they're getting dropped and stuff?
There's a couple of websites that have it, and then there's a awesome Twitch streamer. I should actually probably give him credit on this because he's been doing awesome work. But he set up a program to basically check all of the websites for their stock and just check and see who has stock and who doesn't. And so you can leave it up on your computer and it stays silent until something pops up, and then like the Call of Duty nuke sound goes off. So if you just leave your volume on, it's dead silent, and it'll just alert you when something goes off, and then he'll jump on and he'll tell you like where to find it and stuff. So
that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah. So his name is Killer Cam 1020. So check him out on Twitch, because if you're looking for a PS5 or an Xbox, that's really the easiest way to get it, because this program just runs 24/7, and then it'll just notify you when something is available, and you can jump right in.
Nice.
So you have to sit there refreshing or anything. Just leave it up on your computer, your phone, or whatever, and then it'll just tell you.
Yeah. Cool. Nice.
What's the salad?
That was the salad that I didn't get a PS5 today.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Oh, right. Because the Lions was the.
I had a day where I had time to sit here and like pay attention to it, and it's the first day with no stock coming out anywhere. So,
gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, my stake is that this past weekend I rearranged my desk, and now my Xbox is connected to one of my screens around my desk, and I started playing Red Dead again.
So, you gonna actually get through it this time? Jesus.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the plan here, is to finish it. Well, the last time I played it, I restarted because I had gotten to the point where you go off, onto that island.
Yeah.
And you lose out on like everything that you missed. So I was like, well, I'm just going to restart and like go through and do all this stuff. And then I just didn't like keep playing. So now I'm playing. And I got the white pony. Finally.
Did you just call it a pony?
Or the white horse, whatever. The
There's a big difference.
Arabian.
There's no bandit riding around on a pony.
You can still, yeah, and when you get back from the island, make sure you grab the black pony, because you can buy that immediately when you get back.
God, I hate both of you right now.
But yeah, so I when I have a little bit of time, I jump on and it's like just a swivel, and now I'm playing Red Dead. It's fun, and that's I don't know if it makes me more or less productive, but it's something. And then for my salad, I found out that cutting NFL or college football film takes forever.
Yes, it does. Shout out to all the people that actually do it and release it to the public, because it is a pain in the motherfucking dick.
Yeah, and Sean and I have taken on a project to try and create our own personal film library. Whether or not that is released to the public, don't know. Have to go some legal.
See how much we get done and how timely it is.
Yeah, see what we can do, but yeah, we kicked it off this past week, and today I was cutting up my first game, which was Pitt versus Clemson. I've been learning a lot about the draft, as far as like Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. some of the players on Pitt's defense I got to look into a little bit more, but they were giving Lawrence some trouble. So, but yeah, 6 hours so far, and I haven't even made it to the fourth quarter. I think I might have to reevaluate how deeply
the process.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, though. You try something. If it doesn't work, you change the process.
Yeah. So, but yeah, hopefully this offseason I can talk a little more intelligently about the draft. We shall see. I don't know. High hopes.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, ADP trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Jonny The Greek.
Alrighty, Johnny. It's time for your segment, and this is brought to you by Statement Games, where we sponsor one of their tournaments, the Sunday night NFL game, and Johnny gives you the top 3 picks, and we usually give away a jersey along with Statement Games for one of the contest winners from that tournament. We don't have one from last week, so we're starting fresh. Johnny, take it away.
Yeah. So you just go to statementgames.com. You don't even have to make an account. You can log in with your Google or your Facebook, I believe. Definitely Google. It's free to play. You win your contest, you get your name thrown in a hat with a couple other winners from other contests. You get your name out of the hat. You get the jersey. Any jersey you want, any team, any player, any size. What's there not to like about it? Go to statementgames.com and play with us this week as we do the Broncos-Chiefs Sunday Night Massacre as the Broncos get their booty holes turned inside out on national television. We're just going to do these together because we got sent some of it. So we'll do these together. So Mahomes over under 3.5 touchdowns. I'm going under. I don't think he's going to have to throw 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think they'll be able to run a couple in. Defense will probably score one. Maybe special teams. It doesn't need to be a crazy Mahomes week, I feel like. What do you guys think on that?
I still think he goes over. They go for the kill. They never slow down. Like, they're a team that just keeps putting up points.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't have over 3 against Tampa Bay, so I don't know.
No,
we'll see.
They did keep throwing, though. Tampa Bay did a good job at taking away Tyreek.
What? Taking away Tyreek?
Yeah, he went for over 200 in the first quarter, and then they held him to like 60 the rest of the game.
Yeah, he had another touchdown too. Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, like a 5-year.
They didn't take away Tyreek.
They definitely did. After the first quarter, when he blew up for over 200 yards, they took him away after that, and he was on track to break the record, and he didn't come close.
Yeah, he still had another 60 and a touchdown, a bunch more catches. So
yeah, over 3 quarters, they didn't let him go deep. But the point was, Mahomes didn't stop throwing. It was just less effective once they took away the deep stuff from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. All right, we'll see. Nate, what do you got? Over under?
I mean, honestly, I could see both. I'd probably in that game, I don't know. I would probably go over just because it's just going to be a massacre, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Clyde Edwards-Helaire over under 1 rushing touchdown. I think he gets one this week. It might be receiving though. That's the issue. This is a rushing touchdown.
Right? Is it also over 1? So he needs 2.
It's 0.5. So he needs precisely 1.
Yeah, I think he gets one.
Yeah, I think so too. It feels like a Edwards-Helaire week, even if it's just garbage time, running out the clock and shit. And he breaks one. I could see that. Kansas City Chiefs over under 3.5 sacks. That's tough. I'm gonna say under. I was looking at this today. Clark and Jones are not having the type of year we thought they would.
No, they're not.
Yeah. I mean, their defense will play fine, but I just think under on the sacks. Harrison Butker over under 2.5 field goals. I don't even know if they need field goals. I'm going to go under.
I'm going to take the under too.
Yeah, at extra points, set that at like 7.5. And last but not least, Tyreek Hill over under 87.5 receiving yards. I will take the over.
Yep.
All right, so that's the Sunday night contest. The other bet we had last week was Texans -3 at Detroit. That was fine. That worked out.
Just bet against Detroit the rest of the year, man.
So that we're 10-5 on the season. I'm going to take this week the Raiders -7.5 at the Jets in a bounce back game after looking like absolute shit last week. This is a good team to get the train back on the tracks and just steamroll them completely. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like that one.
All righty.
Yeah.
So we got.
Alrighty. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at IDP Guys. Individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142, and Sean is at Lanny1925. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. On the sidebar, there are links for iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and an RSS feed for the podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber to the site. For $1 a month, you get access to premium data, tools, the subscriber Slack channel, all sorts of great stuff to help you win your league each year. Also, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, Writer Digest Network. That's REITER Digest Network. A lot of great shows, a lot of good content. We're really putting forth an effort to build that up, and in the coming this year, we've increase that to quite a few shows, and we have more plans going forward. But with that, any last minute quips or inspiration from you guys?